and like how did you transform through the process?
I started becoming more productive and getting more things done, which actually boosted my morale. It made me happier because I was frustrated before because I was just the income I was making from my business wasn't where I needed it to be. It was still good, but not where I needed it to be. And making these shifts just in my mentality and in my habits, I saw it impact my bottom line every month, and that made me very happy.
Are you happy that you just did it and you got started with the process?
Absolutely. I'm not going back to old me, because this is a new version of me that's way more productive. I'm a lot happier. So this is I've my mentality has transformed and this is where I'm at now.
Today, I've got a client interview with my client Victor. Going to be diving into his story and his transformation. So, Victor, thanks for jumping on, man.
Hey, no problem.
All right. So, just to kind of kick this off, tell us who you are, what you do, and where you live.
My name is Victor Caban Diaz from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm an architect. I have my own architecture firm named Building Ingenuity Architecture and Design. We primarily do residential and commercial in South Florida. I'm partnered with my wife, and we have a project manager that works with us. And been practicing architecture for over 20 years now.
Awesome. Power couple. And yeah, start to describe what were some of the things that you were struggling with before you started the coaching process?
So I was basically just struggling with time management. I have a lot on my plate. I'm a father of four, three of my own kids, and then a stepson. And I run a business full time. And I try not to be an absentee father. I'm very involved in my kids' lives. I help with pickup and drop offs, with all the daily routines with the kids, and then I also, I coach them in soccer. So I'm very involved in that as well. That's a weekly thing, a couple of days a week. Um, and then trying to grow a business to a substantial size and trying to manage all that was very challenging for me. So time management was a big issue for me, and then also um, my business wasn't growing the way I wanted to, and it had a lot to do with you know not having the right habits. So I saw you on Instagram, and I thought, you know what, this is the guy that can help me. He's talking to entrepreneurs, and I that's definitely me.
Yeah. Okay. And like how was like the lack of like time management and the poor habits, how was that impacting you on a day-to-day basis? Like how did you feel?
Well, it wasn't allowing me to put in the hours I want to put in for my business. As a business owner, you should be putting in, in my opinion, 60, 50 hours a week if you really want to call yourself. I know other business owners who do more. But if you really want to say you're hustling, you need to be at least doing that. And with all the tasks and responsibilities I have as a father, I was really struggling. I was averaging more like 30 hours a week, and that just wasn't okay for me. Like, and it was impacting my business's growth. I was kind of stagnating.
Hmm. Okay. And yeah, I know that once we got started, we started to put some of those habits in place and other systems. But like, what were some of the most beneficial aspects of coaching once we got started?
Just kind of seeing how I was my own worst enemy. I was kind of like creating my own walls, more obstacles. It was more of a mentality shift for me actually than it was actual obstacles. And I really just had to look at things differently and make commitments to things that, weren't that difficult, but were inconvenient. But I had to inconvenience myself a little bit, be in a zone of discomfort in order to grow. And I needed to understand and see that I wasn't before, the coaching.
Yeah, can you describe that a little bit more? Like, what was the mentality shift? Like, before you were this, but now you're like, how would you describe that?
Well, one specific example, one habit that has really helped me is, like I said, I have kids So my days are very occupied with pickup drop offs, helping with the kids and stuff. And I'm struggling to even find 8 hours. Yeah, but I also was just waking up at like, you know, 6, 7 in the morning. Um, so one of the things I did is I started waking up at 4 in the morning because I realized, hey, my business, I'm a lot more productive during these hours in the early parts of the morning because I don't have kids asking me, daddy, can you do this, daddy, that, and I can focus. So it gave me a few hours every morning of pure focus. And it also, I don't have clients bothering me and calling me. Not that they bother me, but, so I can focus on production. Um, and just waking up at 4 a.m. every day has been very helpful. And it allowed me to then get the hours in and then also carve out time in the afternoon to go to the gym and work out, which was something else that was important for me.
Yeah, I remember that was something that when we looked at your schedule, we kind of mapped out like an ideal day, and we found that deep work block for you in the morning, and then found time for you to spend time with family and then exercise as well. And so, um, was there anything else from like the coaching process that you found to be really beneficial for you?
Just kind of looking, you know, farther away at my goals and then kind of mapping them backwards and, creating the step by step tasks and staying focused on those goals and also creating the whys behind those goals, to stay motivated, and then putting them on paper and then putting it right in front of my desk so I can always see it, because sometimes it's when you're trying to be disciplined, it's easy to lose track and
Yeah,
to get off track, but it's okay because you know getting to your destination isn't a straight line. There's curves and sometimes there's steps back, but as long as you refocus and you keep going, you're going to make progress. And that's how I've been able to progress. It hasn't been perfect. I haven't always, been on top of my game, but I'm more on top of it than less. I can say that. So I'm definitely making progress and I'm happy with what I'm doing.
yeah, awesome. So once we kind of identified those key habits, put your time management system in place, started exercising, identifying your targets. Um, how did that change you, and like how did you transform through the process?
I started becoming more productive and getting more things done, which actually boosted my morale. It made me happier because I was frustrated before because I was just the income I was making from my business wasn't where I needed it to be. It was still good, but not where I needed it to be. And making these shifts just in my mentality and in my habits, I saw it impact my bottom line every month, and that made me very happy.
Yeah, that was cool to see. I remember you saying the mission that you were on was to level up and become the man that your family deserves. That's always resonated with me. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we have, goals that are very much tied to our finances, getting a house, um, going on vacations and stuff like that. And in order for me to provide those, I have to make more money. And being more efficient and being more productive in my business is the way I make money. So it allows me to then be the man that I promised I would be. Follow through with my word to my family. Like we're gonna do these things. These things are gonna happen, and uh, you know, that's ultimately why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. So describe to me, you've already talked about how you've kind of transformed as a person, but like what are some of the results that you're the most proud of from the coaching process?
Um, so specific results is I've locked in. I had a goal to have a certain amount of contracts locked in. I hit that goal, and it was a pretty ambitious goal. And I met that by the end of the year. It was a little like it was like a week or two later than I wanted to hit it, but I
It
still
still
hit it. So
counts.
it still doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So um, I would say I probably had like 10 goals. I hit like 8 of them, which was great. So um I've been, leveling up on my knowledge, reading more than I did before, which is great. And I've been going to the gym more consistently, seeing the results in my body, and it's all just from a mind shift change. Sometimes you get lost in the weeds of life, and you have to like sometimes reflect on where you're at, where you're trying to go, and what is it that I have to do. And sometimes you get so busy that you don't really sit down and just say, "This is what I have to do. This is what I have to get done." And keeping track of that was important.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's been cool to watch you like level up business-wise, growing your business, hitting your goals there, going to the gym, still being a really present father, being an awesome husband. It's been awesome working with you, man. So, as we're just kind of wrapping up here, any pieces of advice for somebody who is maybe was maybe like in your shoes at the beginning, thinking about taking that next step? Um, what advice do you have for them?
I guess from the words of the shoe company Nike, just do it. Because there's never going to be a perfect time to level up. You just have to make the commitment and chop chop that tree 5 times a day. Eventually, the tree comes down. If you just swing at it 5 times a day, you don't have to knock it down in one day. But if you do 5 chops every day, that tree eventually comes down, and that tree, that's your goals. So you got to just keep chopping away, and you have to have action items that you know that are very pertinent to your goals. And even if they're small tasks, everything you do every day is a step forward towards your goals. So get started and make it happen.
Absolutely. And so are you happy that you just did it and you got started with the process?
Absolutely. I'm not going back to old me, because this is a new version of me that's way more productive. I'm a lot happier. So this is I've my mentality has transformed, and this is where I'm at now.
That is so cool. And I think with that new mentality, you're just going to take that forward into this next year and just dominate, man. So, um, anything else you want to say about the process or anything that's top of mind for you?
Yeah, it's if even if you consider yourself, because I consider myself a go-getter, a leader, there's always room to improve. And you could be at level 100, you could still level up, and this process will take you to that next level that you're looking to get to, no matter where you're at, whether you're at the bottom or you're at the top. You could still go higher. So I think this is a process that works for everybody, regardless of where they're at.
Mm, mic drop. Dang. I think we gotta, there we go. Mic drop.
Yeah,
Boom. I think we gotta wrap it up with that. So Victor, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on. It's been awesome to watch you just level up in every area. And so for anybody who's watching or listening to this, you're on the fence, you're a high performer, but you're ready to level up. Go ahead and book a call down below or send me a DM on Instagram, and we'll get started. So thanks again, Victor. You're the man.
not a problem. You the man.